Boxing. How does that go down? Just break it down for us a little bit. We want to see it obviously happen.
I ain't gonna break it down to you. You know what I mean? How strategy is leaving with my hand. You know, rolls and everybody mouth dropping. That's how I can, you know, sums it up in a little.
Terence Crawford means business for the Canelo fight, and he's shown it with the insane training footage. That's got fans and boxing professionals talking. Crawford has gotten the right weight, right methods, right techniques to fight Canelo Alvarez. All that's left is to see how he copes in the ring on fight night. Crawford has released some first training footage as he starts to make his preparations, where he shadow boxed in the ring. The American let his hands go, showing off his variety of skills, including a crisp jab and some sharp combinations noticeably in the footage. Crawford's physique looked bulkier, a clear sign he is already in the process of making the fighting weight, and the boxing fraternity have been left with differing opinions on his current condition. One wrote, "Sharp as hell, he went up in weight, gained more power, and maintained his speed." Another agreed, "He's looking good, looks like he's going to try and outbox Canelo. He can certainly win the fight that way." Crawford looks super sharp and smooth as usual. He's going to get the win. Canelo is slower. Others weren't so convinced, with some suggesting, looks to have lost his speed, looks slower, this could be bad. A user concurred, adding, "Looks slow, old and nearly 40, Canelo will retire him." And a final fan concluded, "I'm not counting him out, but he looks slow in this division. It remains to be seen just how Crawford will look come fight night." The American fought at his natural limit of 147 lbs for several years, but is already a 4-weight world champion. But victory over Alvarez could cement his name as a true great, and he has already entered camp with 3 months until the career-defining night. But he has shown he is capable of overcoming challenges, including in his tough world title victory on points over Madrimov last year. Alvarez holds natural size advantages over his rival and will be an expected favorite come fight night, but he too struggled in his last outing, unable to break down Williams' skull despite becoming undisputed champion again in May. Crawford knows victory will be the best of his time in the professional ranks and the biggest statement imaginable, and he believes there are some of his own advantages that will help him beat the Mexican. "Man, we're going to see come fight time what my advantage is."
The speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out. From Kirkland to Amir Khan to just...
Don't do
obviously,
I'm just saying, man.
No, but he's not too cold.
He said, "I'm the type of guy who likes to feel my fighters out and adjust to what they're doing. I think that's my greatest attribute, to be able to figure out every opponent I've faced this far. I'm looking to do the same come fight time. When the Canelo fight happens, I'm going to feel great at 168 lbs. I don't need to worry about the weight. I know I'm going to feel great 2-weight undisputed champion." Terence Crawford faces the biggest test of his career as he gears up to take on two-time undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez on September 13th in Las Vegas. But before stepping into the ring, the 37-year-old found himself caught up in a very different kind of battle. Earlier today, fellow Nebraskan and super middleweight boxer Steven Nelson shared an Instagram clip featuring the two sparring partners engaged in a playful but brutal power slap contest. According to Nelson, the showdown ended with a busted eardrum. Still not everyone's convinced, with some fans calling.
I've been beating up big dudes all my life.
Because they underestimate your bud.
It's just, even if they didn't, I'm gonna beat you up. You know, I can fight.
Right.
You know, so if you watch, like, all these dudes bigger than me.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't care, but I'm gonna find a way to win, no matter what.
In September, are you gonna pull this? I shook up the world. I told you. I told you. I told you. I told you.
The incident staged in the clip, the two fighters stand on opposite sides of a table, mimicking the setup commonly seen in power slap competitions. Crawford winds up and delivers a thunderous slap to Nelson's face, followed by a loud crack. Then Nelson collapses to the floor, seemingly knocked out cold, while Crawford celebrates by screaming, "My face hurt," and "I think Terence Bud Crawford busted my eardrum. I should have gone first." Nelson captioned the post. It's worth noting that Crawford is jumping up 2 weight classes to face Canelo, an opponent known for his punishing power. The video may be an attempt to showcase Crawford's own power ahead of the high-stakes bout where punching strength could be the deciding factor. Regardless, Crawford and Nelson share a long-standing bond that dates back to their childhood. The two grew up training together, with Nelson even appearing on several of Crawford's undercards over the years. Today, he plays a key role as a director at Crawford's B&B Boxing Academy. Given their close friendship and shared history, it wouldn't be a stretch to believe the clip was made to highlight Crawford's power ahead of the Canelo fight, and many fans seem to think exactly that. Since the clip was uploaded, hundreds of opinions have filled up the comment section. While some were concerned for Nelson, others called cap on the clip, and Crawford slapped one.
Answer right there.
Hi, Terence. What do you think about
Well, I wouldn't say I'm chasing Canelo. You know, I think that's a broad statement. I just want the opportunity, you know, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. You know, he's the most accomplished fighter in today's sports of boxing, other than myself. And
User praised Nelson for his brilliant acting skills. Good acting, all fingers, LOL. The user wrote, if that's the case, Nelson is proving to be more than just a training partner. He's a true friend. The next user had a similar idea after watching the clip. Definitely a fake smack, the user commented. However, it's not hard to imagine why it managed to convince others that it was real. Someone else also thought it wasn't real, but liked one thing about it: he ain't even slapped you for real, but it looked cool, the user commented. From the looks of the video, Crawford might have a stellar career in Dana White's power slap. Meanwhile, this user seems to have dissected the clip thoroughly. Only the trained eye can see the small adjustments that made for a great movie shot. If Terence Bud Crawford connected properly, his body would have collapsed differently, the user commented. However, it was fairly clear that Crawford's slap landed just a fraction of a second before Nelson's face.
you know, fight another great. That's it. I think it'll be the biggest fight in the sport of boxing today.
Terence, one thing as well, one of your former opponents, and I know you said hi to him yesterday, Amir Khan was here obviously, there is rumors, and he actually said that he's speaking to Jake Paul's team today for a potential matchup.
Another user ignored the clip entirely and asked Crawford to get back to work, stop playing, and get ready for Canelo, please, the user commented. It's yet to be seen whether Crawford can deliver such power during the fight. That being said, despite a great effort from Steven Nelson, he seems to have failed in convincing people about Terence Crawford's power. The big fight between the undefeated Terence Bud Crawford and Mexican Canelo Alvarez, scheduled for September 13th in Las Vegas, will
Amir Khan stepping into the ring in the influencer scene. What happens with these guys? You've been in the ring with him.
Amir Khan too small for Jake Paul. You know, Jake's is too big, so we just gonna leave it at that. Amir is my guy. You know, I just think Jake too big.
What about KSI? That's on the table as well.
KSI and Jake could be a better fight. You know, I think
Would you like to fight between
we in two different weight classes.
Terence not only captured the attention of the boxing world because of its magnitude, but also because of growing speculation about Crawford's future beyond this historic bout. Authoritative voices within his circle, including an influential member of the Mayweather dynasty, suggest that a victory over Canelo could mean the endpoint of a career, despite the importance of the fight. Terence Crawford has kept a low profile regarding his post-fight plans during a recent Quanda session with fans in Sydney, Australia. Bud expressed his total focus on the present. "I don't eat before. I have the food on my table, so right now I'm at 168 to fight Canelo, and that's the only thing.